And that's something that I really try to focus on, especially when you get into these situations where the internet makes someone famous for something that they did. And maybe they were wrong, maybe it didn't look well, but I really try to put myself in their shoes and ask myself, what would I expect of myself in this situation? I think a lot of times there's just none of that. It's like we see it, it happened, that person's wrong. That's all they are now. Let's get them.
Oh yeah.
Pitchforks, let's go. They're nothing else.
Like that one time Ignacio pulled his pants down in the supermarket. I mean, he's not only that guy. I mean, that's him just a little bit.
I mean, I was 6 years old, man. That's haunting me since then.
That was 6 days ago. Who are you kidding?
Well, you became a pattern.
We are back, and already we've been backstage 5-10 minutes, and I can feel like this one can be one that could really last a long time. So
I'm ready. I'm ready to piss some people off. Let's go.
I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here with my lovely co-host and a very special guest today. The tallest,
the one and only,
in the water. We know he's not really that tall.
I'm really not.
Mr. Marcus, Mr. Circumstances.
Man, it's a pleasure. I'm a fan. First time caller, long time fan. Excited to be here.
Honor us with your presence, Marcus.
Yeah. And he dropped the thing thinks he made it, but like I said, every week we're like, if you want to come on the show, you want to talk about something, everybody is not everybody. Most of the people are welcome to talk about it, even if we've never spoke before. If I have some kind of inkling of the person you are and you want to come talk, like this guy is always
invited.
New Mexico in the house.
Yes, this guy is conditionally invited.
Oh no, you're always invited for me.
Wow.
DJ shared a video a while ago.
Oh no, I already lost audio.
He was at. I can hear you. He was at New York.
Yeah, you can hear me. I cannot hear you. Be right back. Stick around.
He was at New York Con and he shared a video. They were dancing or something, and then he walks into the room and he immediately hits the salsa. That video lives rent free in my head, DJ.
Yeah. I mean, if you're, and I don't want to sound like I'm being stereotypical, but if you're in that Latin, you have Latino in your blood, that kind of you kind of vibe with that. You kind of feel it. If that music hits you in your soul, it's just like, all right, let's go, let's hit it.
What up, Trev? Chiefs.
Whereas this man, if he just feels like rap battling anybody, anywhere.
The Renaissance man.
That's Joe, Pokemon Joe.
Mr. Renaissance.
Trev. I've seen Trev showing off a lot of stuff. Like you said, he was showing off the Chiefs jersey earlier today. Which is a little weird, being where he is. He's a Chiefs fan.
Hey, we're all over. Plus, Chiefs used to be in Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Here I am. Can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you. Can't see you. Always be ready for a dance.
Yeah, Lamar Hunt brought him up to KC from Texas.
Oh, didn't know that.
The late great Lamar Hunt. Yeah, I saw we got Kadarius Toney. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know enough about him really. I just know he hasn't done shit for the Giants, so I'm not sure why I would be excited.
You might need a fresh start somewhere.
Well, Mahomes is special, so we'll see. All right, we're at Kansas, Trev. I take pride in knowing where every state or where every city in Kansas is. It's not easy to do, but I take pride in it. There's a bunch of nothing cities in this state. Comics curing cancer, C3, man. That shit was fucking impressive. I am so in awe of you guys and what you guys accomplished. $20,000 is insane. All the people who jumped in and auctioned off stuff, the people who donated, man, it was beautiful. And that's the type of shit that I love to see, rather than, recreational outrage. We saw some, let's go get some shit done. And I ate that up, man. Everybody involved with that is major cool points for me, man.
Hey, and I can tell you, I wasn't in the main chat though, but just in the group chats that I'm in, just to see the motivation and the complete laser-like focus on making this the actual special thing that it was. I like to bust chops. I like to bust balls a lot of the times, but I can honestly say that I'm proud of everybody who undertook.
Super proud.
Yeah. And it really was something special to see. Even on a little bit on the inside, it was something. What I want to get to, this guy right here. And Friday night on In the Mix, we can't hear you now. We're gonna have to send.
Damn it, Iggy! I need you, Iggy.
We're gonna have to send Ignacio some updated audio equipment as well. But I call him Iggy because it's got 2 G's in it. 2 G's, close to $2,000. This guy raised Friday night alone between Pocan Joe and Austin LeMay, and it was just now you can hear
there it is. Yeah, heard that.
Just a spectacle to behold. So awesomely proud of everybody. I got nothing sarcastic to say. It was a beautiful thing to withhold from top to bottom. And it's still going on. So if you guys still want to donate, go out there. The links are out there, and I think it's available for another 2 months to the end of the year, I think. So,
and I just want to talk about and acknowledge the amount of time and effort that all of that required. Not just the logistics of starting it, planning it, putting it together, gathering the support from people to do it, which is the beginning phase. And then you have the phase of actually doing it, running it, making sure everybody's on point and on time and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then you have the after effect, which is going on right now, which is the coordination of who bought what and shipping what, which is another whole endeavor, man. So like, it wasn't just what you saw, man. It's so much more. And I'm really, like you said, proud, impressed, and excited for what's next on that type of thing.
Truly a Herculean type of task. And just to have the stamina, like Roscoe, just being on the amount of time he was, Mark, Lynx, Rob. I don't know how Rob did it. I know he drank a lot of coffee, but even then, just the stamina you need to go through that. And
Rob, the general, he did a fine job. Super impressive.
Yeah, and having met Rob before, Rob is very good at structuring things and events, so he was the perfect man for the perfect task. And he took it up very well from Chris starting it last year, so it was awesome. It was awesome. Yep, I've already shipped out my stuff too.
I already got the stuff I bought. Magic Lasso sent that shit right out.
Yep. So
hey, there's my guy.
Maybe third time to come. I know. Yep, I can hear you. I know Jim is headed out to Baltimore this weekend. I think Pocan Joe is too. Great. You guys have a great time. Can't wait.
I'm jealous. I talked to Matt Kent on the plane on the way to Heroes Con, and him and his wife said that him and his wife both said that Baltimore was their favorite con. So I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's just after not having cons for a while, it seems like they're coming fast and furious. Like
I ain't got the money for it for sure.
I ain't got the money.
Or I'd be at every one. I promise I would.
No, and it's always a good time. I went to a smaller one this past weekend. I got to see Miko, some of the guys from Big Time Collectibles. Also met, JC's Comics and Collectibles. I don't care about the comics. I mean, a little bit I do, but just to meet the people, I'm used to seeing it on Instagram, and it's just, it's great socially.
It all blends together perfectly for me. The people, the comics, I love it all, man.
Yeah, we were talking about. Am I here? Yes.
Yeah.
We were talking about cons Saturday on Remy's place. And we were talking about which con should I go to see the most of you. And I ended up saying, let's do Burning Man. If it's about meeting us, meeting each other, fuck it, let's do Burning Man.
I feel, am I too old for Burning? I feel too old for Burning Man.
Oh, I'm too old for Burning Man too.
They stay up late, right?
And honestly, we have to make sure we come back. So,
yeah, my bedtime is 8 o'clock, guys. Can we be in bed by 8?
Yeah, for sure. You can drop whatever you want. It's the middle of the desert. You might get a little chilly, but
there's no comic books at Burning Man. So
Yeah, we can bring them.
all right,
We
so
can be the comic book guys of Burning Man.
we'll talk about that. I guess did you say 2024?
I think 2025.
2025.
Dude,
I
I'm gonna be
mean,
really old.
I need to have a couple of books out. No, I'm talking about cons. Burning Man it's just a silly idea.
Hashtag get Iggy here sooner.
Well, just make sure I'm included in any silly ideas. I definitely want to be involved.
So
Okay, another silly idea that came up yesterday during Chris the Comic Bets live was to do a book club starting in January with Watchmen. So we all, as a community, read Watchmen, and then we gather together and nerd out like the community we are. Talk about one book.
I think I would find value in reading that book again. Actually, that sounds dope.
Some bean juice, human bean juice.
Hey, there he is.
I'm hoping Louis check the mailbox.
What up, Mr. Look at Me?
CJ. What's up? And CJ, anytime I've caught a stream with CJ on it, that boy has been letting out a lot of dough. So we appreciate that too as well. He's not as mad as people think. Well, maybe he is, but he still recognizes a good cause and puts it towards some awesome stuff.
Yeah,
and he's a master of rage.
Hey,
I don't know if it's recreational, but
it might,
he's a master.
Some of it is. Some of it is.
Let's talk
Recreation.
about yeah, go ahead.
I was just Recreational Outrage isn't all bad. It's just mostly bad, you know.
All right. Well,
yeah, you can enjoy it, and you can use Recreational Outrage to bother people
and have fun.
Yeah.
Or use it as motivation. Like for me, I use Recreational Outrage to get myself to the gym.
Oh, that's right.
I should do that again someday.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I should do that someday. Not again.
I bet I couldn't bitch 135 pounds right now. I bet I couldn't. Oh my God.
I'm home here now. Try it out. I just want to talk to you about some of the other highlights of C3. We've already acknowledged.
Hey, Mike.
Just everybody who's taken part in it, but there is so many highlights for me. Like, and I hate to say this, but I laughed. There were so many instances where I've laughed my asses off on some of these streams just because of stuff that never happens. And it started Friday morning on Legion stream. I love that stream. Every Friday, guys, love that hangout. We know Mad Spidey's usually on there. And it's usually late at night Spidey joins. So his lovely counterpart is usually sleeping throughout the stream. And we can tell she's sleeping because she's pretty tired and it's pretty audible when she's sleeping. Not yet.
Working on it.
Yeah. We'll give it a chance. We don't know what's in Iggy's cup.
You don't know.
I'm trying this, but
that's gonna get you drunk really fast.
So there was a point where it was called attention to, and I've laughed pretty hard sometimes.
Yeah, because it was someone that didn't know what it was.
It didn't know what it was, and Mark said he would take a donation just to have him pinch her nose shut. And at that point, I lost it so bad where I had to do. I couldn't even find the stop cam button on stream. I felt the veins popping out of my neck. I felt them popping out of my forehead, and it was just one of those things. And I was like, yes, I needed this as much as I needed to see cancer get cock slammed, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It
was an impressive weekend. It was an impressive weekend. Definitely.
It was super impressive. I'm proud of you guys so much, man. I really am.
But to correlate it with the name of our episode today, I put C3 versus Recreational Outrage because of a personal experience I had just before DJ's stream. I was really nervous. I was getting ready. I have spent all day thinking about the best approach. I have never done an auction of my art before, and I sat on the computer, and I saw there was another auction going on. It doesn't matter. It's another auction in the whole vast community we have. But I got angry because I saw the amount of people that were there, and I thought this should be part of the event. And contrary to my usual reaction, I went there and I said it. I put it in the chat. There was so many comments and people putting money on stuff that no one acknowledged it. I don't know if anyone saw it, but I put there, this should be part of the C3 event. Why is this not part of the community fundraiser against cancer? And then I said, what am I doing? I should focus on my part and let people be. But I was really angry. I think I needed something to take my mind out of the anxiety of going into DJ's channel for the first time and into an auction of my art for the first time, because, well, I wasn't ready for what happened at all.
And you think that's part of it too? I mean, there's always going to be something to be mad about.
Always, yes.
Personally, it's like collecting comics. It's going to be what triggers you. But
yeah, in whatever aspect of life, there's always something to complain about.
It's tough for me because I have a tough time when I'm triggered. I have a tough time keeping my mouth shut.
Same.
So, well, that's good.
No, it's not though. It's not though, because sometimes
it can confirm it can be bad.
Yeah, and I mean, because there are times when something makes you mad, it really doesn't benefit anybody to let people know that you're mad, even yourself.
Yeah, and you don't choose your words as carefully as you should.
No, and I go from 0 to 15 very easily when I'm
60 here.
Yeah. So
I am an angry man. I am. You may not know it, but I am. And that was all part of this recreational outrage thing. It started with seeing it in myself, and this was before I got into comics. I was, I've been a political junkie for 20 plus years. Just paying.
Oh, I'm sorry for you.
Yes, you should be paying an extreme amount of attention to the details and the minutia of political, storylines and narratives that they come up with. And I found myself turning on my TV, watching my news channel where I agree with most of the things that they say, my channel of choice, and letting them tell me what I was mad about that day. And I was really, really, really fucking mad every day, and really in a lot of ways I still am. But I think it was Joe Rogan, but I don't remember who I got it from. But someone said the term recreational outrage, and it was about me. I realized that it was about me. I was living this cushy American life where I have a large number of freedoms. I have food at my fingertips, water in my faucet, clean water in my faucet, clean air. I have all of these things that are so wonderful. And if you look at the grand history of the world, they're fucking amazing. If you look at it, it's fucking amazing. The things that we enjoy every single day, and yet
we take for granted,
and we're just mad every day. We're fucking mad, and I'm like, and I was one of those people who was just mad every day, and it would affect my relationships with other people. It would affect my relationship with my wife because I was angry. And I took a long look at myself, and I realized that I was recreationally outraging every fucking day over things I had no control over. Exactly. And that's the key. That's the line on recreational outrage is, are you outraging over things you can control?
Yeah.
And most of the time we're not.
You're
we can't
not.
Control it. Yeah.
So let me ask you, since we have you on the couch here, I'm interested. Introspectively, when you look at it, does that stem from
Fuck you, Beckerman.
childhood? Does it stem from an issue earlier? Or do you think that it's us as a whole who don't know how to deal with having the good life?
I don't think it's so much our fault. And I think it comes down to, and you see this in the news media, you absolutely see it in comic book media, is there are recreational outrage farms. And
Social
so
media is a recreational outrage farm.
they're just farming it, and they're farming it because it gets clicks, it gets outrage, it gets arguments, it gets interactions, and that is
it creates engagement.
That needs to be absolutely. And the news media is doing it, and there are certain comic book channels, and you know exactly who they fucking are, who are doing exactly the same.
Hey, here we are.
farming outrage every single day, and you get in the chat and you say, all right, what are we mad about today, guys? And 95% of the time it's over something you can't control, and I'd say over 65 to 70% of the time it's over something incredibly fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
And we've seen it in the past few months. It's been constant over some nonsense.
Because it creates the currency today is attention. Your attention is what's most valuable today. Because if you're paying attention, then I can sell you whatever I want, or whatever Google wants, or whoever. An outrage creates the most amount of interactions. That's so how true. We are. We like true. To be an angry mob. Why? It's in our genes, because we feel secure. The mob doesn't have a brain. So when we are part of a mob, we don't need to think. The mob has a mentality that it's like a hive mind. The mob, it's an all-encompassing stupid thought that needs to be taken into fruition. Be it, I don't know, complain about a comic book character, complain about, I don't know. It's the angry mob. Let's get our pitchforks. Let's get angry at whatever. Let's see what's it. Oh, that's why I have a very strong policy of no news in the house. I don't want my kid to be exposed to the news. I don't want my wife to watch the news. And as a matter of fact, when I lived with my parents, I didn't let them watch the news either. If they were watching the news, I would go there and turn off the TV, because
it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
No.
And it's infotainment. It's not news, it's infotainment. They want you to come back. They want you to watch more. And there's certain things that you do to make that happen. And those things that you do are not inform the people on the facts of situations, because that shit's boring.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The news should be boring.
Absolutely. It should be super boring.
Do you think it's one person at the top seeking attention and fame, and then a whole bunch of people seeking to be part of something, driving that whole mob mentality? Or
I think it's empowering. It's a way of making sense of the world, right? Like if I understand what's wrong with the world, then I know, what I need to attack. And those attacks are leaving nasty comments or whatever you think you're doing to fix it. But it's just, I think it's empowerment. It's like, I know this deal, I read the book, and now I know, what the problem is.
I think about it too let's trace a parallel line between this situation we're talking about and C3, because in this mob mentality, there's also and I said parallel lines, so we are certain that they are not going to touch. Okay, so I'm tracing parallel lines because I don't want.
No, I think they're opposite ends of the spectrum. I love the title that you chose, because I think recreational outrage can be used to turn into things like C3, right? It's about
Because
what can you control.
who isn't angry about cancer?
Right, exactly.
Yep.
We came together as a community. We formed a mob, and there was someone, Rob in this case, and a lot of other people at the top, telling us how to do things, how to behave, and I didn't think about it. I said yes, and I joined the mob, the angry mob against cancer. This is a positive part of the recreational outrage,
Exactly.
if you want to call it that way.
See,
And there's the useless part.
It's funny that you say that because you hear recreational outrage and you automatically think, like I automatically think it's negative.
Right. But it's
Oh yeah,
not.
we are trying to find the silver lining. Did I use that correctly?
I would say so. I think because it is what do you use, because, and this is the thing that I've been debating with myself, is that recreational outrage is just a part of human evolution. It's like we're just discontent people, and it's what we think all the time. Yeah, my life's okay, but it could be better. I could fix this.
Well,
I could make this automated. I could just make my life better, and that's just part of what drives evolution. But so recreational outrage is a good thing because it's part of how can I make my life better. But there's I think I'm seeing two questions about your recreational outrage that you should be asking. Number one, is it fucking stupid? Are you mad because some comic book character's origin got changed? That's fucking stupid.
Are you mad about the sky being blue?
I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So number one, are you mad about something stupid? Think about it. Are you mad? Like, you can be mad about it. It's okay to be mad about stupid things, but just recognize that it's stupid. And number two,
embrace your pettiness.
Yeah. And I mean, I ain't above it, believe me. And number two, can you change it? Those are the two questions that come to my mind.
Yeah,
and the answer for question number two, if you answer the first question, you can answer the second question as a yes and acknowledge it, and you can change it. Because if there's a will, there's a way. And if you acknowledge that you're being stupid, you're being petty, there's a simple step to be taken. Yeah, it's okay. Of course it's okay. I was being stupid the other day, complaining about the other auction taking place at the same time as DJs.
But you weren't wrong, right? So
I don't know. I think I'm wrong because how come I get to decide who needs to be there for C3?
Well,
I don't get to decide that.
True, but it's a matter of energy. Are you mad, which you probably shouldn't have been mad, but are you saying, hey, we can do better, what's up, a collaborative?
Definitely. But that speaks more about myself and my involvement in C3 this year, and what should be my involvement next year. I should be more involved to try to avoid the situation that made me angry this year,
But that comes too with your own personal advancement and enlightenment. I mean, when I was 20, I wouldn't even care. I don't care who I'm making mad. I don't care. I feel what I feel. And I'm not thinking if it's stupid. I'm just feeling that way. So, address me and I'm always right. Whereas now it's a whole lot of things where I guess too, becoming a family man, you kind of wonder and take other people's feelings into account. Whereas before it's just like,
who cares? Yeah.
I always say to my wife and to my kid, well, not to my kids yet, but I will say to them that maturity is understanding that how you feel is not the most important thing.
See, and even to realize that when you were 20 years old, did you have that statement in your head?
No. Hell, when I was 30, And there are things, honestly, in my relationship. Like I'll just say it, like there was a problem with my wife and I where like she would do things and I would feel justified in being really fucking angry about it and yelling at my wife about it. And it was a problem because she would completely break down and like it was not a productive thing that was happening. And I'm gonna cry. I'm about to cry talking about it actually. But I was
this is a place to cry.
Yeah, this is it. Other channels farm, hatred, and we farm depression here.
before
Well, I was
tears.
thinking about it. We had a fight, and I yelled at her, and I got in the car, and I went somewhere, and I was driving, and it hit me that in those moments when I was yelling at her, I was deciding that how I felt was the most important thing. So even though you
Yeah.
understand that that's true, you don't always understand that's true in the moment, right? It took me a long time
No.
to realize that.
Yeah, the rage is blinding. Rage is blinding. If you're a person with anger management issues, like I am, uh, when you get outraged, you go blind. You stop thinking and you react to whatever. And
Because you stop thinking, hey, am I wrong?
because you feel attacked and you need to defend yourself. We are all animals in the end. I started therapy this week. Sorry, Nick.
No, go ahead.
Go. Oh, okay. I started therapy this Monday, again, after a couple of years off. And I was talking about a situation with my wife, with my in all this time about raising the kid together and such. And I realized as I was saying what I was feeling, that I was demonizing her. And I had to stop myself and tell the therapist that, okay, I'm demonizing my wife. I just realized as I was telling it out loud, because there's some things that you keep inside and you don't talk about them to anyone, because it's kind of, okay, I wish I wasn't this way, so I'm not going to talk about it. But then I was talking to the therapist, and she told me, okay, that's good that you realize. Sometimes they don't even need to say anything. I realized as I was telling her my point of view, I realized, okay, I'm being an asshole to this woman that I chose to be my partner for life, and I chose to be the mother of my son. Why am I demonizing her?
The older I get, the more fucking beautiful self-awareness is. And that's fucking gorgeous, Iggy. I love
you know what?
Ski.
And I'll tell you where the point where I'm at.
Thanks, man.
I'll have those arguments with my wife, and I'll hear it, and I'll know that like I'm being mean right now. But I'm still not at the stage where I can acknowledge that and apologize. I'm still at, fuck that. I'm not losing. I'm imposing my will on her. And I still know it's wrong. But I'm in my feelings, and I can't dissipate that because that's how angry I am.
I will just real quick. I'm not like that, and here's the reason why: is that people always say, "Oh, Marcus, you always have to be right. You always have to be right," and it's true. I do always have to be right, but that fact does not change when I realize I'm wrong. It intensifies when I realize I'm wrong.
No, my wife will tell me that I'll say I never say that I'm sorry, because when I argue, I never feel that I'm wrong. I won't argue unless I'm right. You know what I mean? And I don't.
Yeah, and we all wish we are all 100% correct. Who wouldn't wish for that? I mean, it's kind of silly because
not everybody can be me. Yeah, sorry.
Speaking of tears, I had to hold up tears the other day on DJ's channel because of what's going on. Sorry, I changed the subject, but I just remembered that it all went so fast, and I got dizzy with it all, and with rage it's almost the same. You get dizzy. You don't have a clear view of what's in front of you. You get triggered like a toddler because of something you don't agree with. You feel attacked, and then you focus on that and nothing else matters. Mm-hmm. And you become the worst version of yourself.
Yeah.
Because rage is not, well, during my biggest depression in life, I learned that it's easier to get rid of rage than to get rid of depression. So I chose rage. Consciously. Yeah. It was poisonous, but not as poisonous as depression, which is kind of counterintuitive because with depression, you don't hurt anyone but yourself. But with rage, you take the risk that you might hurt someone else. But I was so isolated that there was no one to hurt.
Well, I think depression could be more nuanced. You know what I mean? You could be deep in the throes of it and not really even know. You know what I mean? If you be like, oh, I'm having a bad day. Whereas rage is something immediate that you have to deal with right now.
Yeah, the depression is too tricky. I think that's why we choose rage, because we don't want to go deeper into depression. Yeah. At least for me, that's the situation. I chose rage for a long time. Then I got help because if I don't get in rage, I go down. If I let this go through, it's going to affect me even more. But you get alone when you get too angry. You end up alone.
Yeah. And I think for me, rage, you always feel better after episodes of rage. Like for me,
if it's justified, yeah.
When I was younger, I used to break a lot of shit. Like I went through a lot of doors up into my mid-20s, and it was expensive for me to get angry because that's how I manifested.
No, I've been poor my whole life, so that was never an option.
Well, I'm not.
You can't break shit when you're poor.
No.
Yeah, you think about it twice. Okay, I'm gonna break this.
Yeah,
okay, no.
Kids, when we were a kid, the kids would get mad and break their controller. No. I'll never have another controller.
That's it.
I've come close. New Call of Duty out by the way.
I'm glad we make you sad, Drag. Yeah, you know what I do when I get angry and I feel the urge to break something, because I'm an artist and I need my right hand to draw. I have to consciously think, okay, I have to hit something with my left hand. And when I get to that point in which I raise my right and I think, no, I'm going to break my working hand. Okay, I need to use my left. And by that point, do I really need to do this?
Yeah.
Do I really need to punch something with my left hand because I'm so angry?
And just to bring it back to comic books. Yeah, I think we all are.
Well, there's an endless sea of indie comics out there that are not even big three. You don't even have to go to Image, man. You go to Kickstarter, you go to Soup, you go to even, I don't know, Indiegogo. You find all the stories that people would like to tell in the big two, with the big two characters, but with a dressing, with the skin of another character. You get, because every story has been told already. So dive into the indie creator scene and you will find whatever you want to read, it's out there. And if you don't find it, you better fucking create it, because there's someone who wants to read what you want to read, for sure.
Call to action.
I read recently Public Domain from Jip Zdarsky on Image, and I just loved that book. It was a love letter to the comic book medium, and I so enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys are reading that one, but I recommend it.
Yeah, I read it. It's, for me, it's on the verge of Outrage, because it calls and it's about so many creators in the industry that have been treated like shit by the corporation. But we need to understand that it's a corporation. It's a mean machine, if you want to put it in some terms, because they want to make money. They don't care about who drew or who created the new gods or Thor or the X-Men. And I'm talking specifically about Kirby here because I recently been, for the past couple of months, the Jerk Comic channel has been releasing the Jack Kirby episodes of Lord of Light. Jack Kirby turned into animation when he was in his late career.
Hey,
But
I don't mean to interrupt, but speaking of Lord of Light,
We got him, guys. Chip is here. We made it.
I wanna just take a break in the show just to praise our Lord and Master Chip Getler. Thank you for another day on this planet, Chip. Thank you so much.
he loves it when we do that.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So in this documentary, Jerk doesn't take an outrage approach. He just goes to the facts, and even though he's pro Kirby, he doesn't go bias. He doesn't let his bias towards Kirby shadow the information that would go against Kirby, because apparently Kirby was really hard to work with, which, I mean, I understand it. The man was a machine and a creative genius, so it's hard to work with someone like that, I guess. And public domain, I think, addresses in a humorous way, if you want, the injustice of the comic industry for a long time towards creators. Okay, I went on a tangent there, but I wanted to say it.
Well, and I love you talk about the greed of the corporation, and I love that juxtaposition of that with his dad, the creator of the character, he's just about the comics, man. It's about the love of the comic book medium, and I just ate that shit up, man. I loved it.
Yeah, there's a through line about him being happy about what he did, and about the fans that he still has, basically.
Like that dude that comes to his house. I don't know if you read number 5.
Yeah.
It's
that's what I love. For you.
It was about for his dad. It was about the love and the generosity of sharing this medium with others, and I love how that love is what allows them to set up in the end. I really liked that book, man.
Yeah, there's in this documentary there's a through line during every episode. The main thing that Jack Kirby wanted was healthcare, and I think, oh shit, here in Argentina we have free healthcare, so it's not free. It's not free, of course. We pay our taxes, and some part of our tax goes there. But I lost audio, so I'm gonna end this and go out and go in.
But we hear you. Can you hear us?
He can't hear us. Is what he's saying.
It's so crazy that he wanted healthcare, and I take healthcare for granted because I have it, and that's my thought. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna come in again.
Well, and having to do my healthcare this week, it's not something I take for granted, and I realize
I don't do that.
So.
I don't do that. Well, I let my wife do that shit. For that, I got ADD, so that bureaucratic stuff, I can't do it, man. My wife has to do that stuff. But I do want to go back. Beckerman and DJ Lynx talked about their relationships with their wives and how they don't really fight. And I think that they probably do fight, but fighting has just become a different thing for them. When you've been together as long as they've been together, like one of the first things I said to my wife when we first started dating is that it's not that we fight. We're going to fight. It's how do we fight? Do we fight like some dumbass children, or do we present points, concede points, and come to a logical conclusion? And when DJ Lynx and his wife and Beckerman and his wife get into those sorts of things, it doesn't feel like a fight because they're just talking it out, right? I'm sure they fight all the time. It's just not a fight because they've done it so long. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and my 11-year-old sees us argue sometimes, and we'll tell him yes, we are arguing, but if you love somebody, they're anybody you come in contact with and have a regular relationship with, there will be those arguments, all right? But what's most important is to let them see, especially like my son, is to see how the resolution comes about. You're going to always argue, yes, because there's always going to be a differentiation of opinion. But it's just as important to show him that we resolve things in a normal human manner. So
it's not that you fight; it's how you fight.
Yep. So
And that's something true for this whole country. I mean, we've forgotten how to fight, you know, and there's just a bunch of bad faith in this country, and I hate it.
Yeah, and I think it's more points to people feel more that they have to win.
Yeah, it's about winning. Exactly. It's not about what's right. It's about winning. And like I said before, it's like I do have to be right, but when it doesn't cease to exist, my need to be right, it doesn't cease to exist when I realize I'm wrong. It intensifies. I have to announce from the tops that I was wrong and I am right now because I have to be fucking right.
Fanboy brings up a good point. Yep. And if you don't get it out, then that resentment will kill a lot.
And that speaks to a point that I think it was on NPR, but I was listening to a story, and they talked about relationships, and it compared couples. You have the type of couple who they never fight. And the reason why they never fight is because they let shit slide constantly. Rather than bringing it up and having conflict, they let shit slide. And what you see happen in those relationships is it builds and builds and builds until it explodes into this unfixable thing. Whereas the story said those couples who have shorter fuses, those couples who have it out when these things happen, they last longer because they've, you know, I'm not oblivious to the things that are triggering the fuck out of you. I can address them. I can try and do better for you, and you can do the same for me. So that's why I'm a very conflict-driven person. I'm not afraid of conflict. I will disagree with you, and you can disagree with me, and I don't give a fuck. You know, let's figure it out. And, you know, and at the end of the day, if we just disagree, that's cool too. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know, whereas some people, you talk to them and like they really care that you disagree with them, and it's like, bro, why the fuck do you care that I just? My opinion does not fucking matter, dude. And yours doesn't.
Yeah,
either.
but there's a point. I was like this for a while in my life. I wanted people to think like I thought.
Yeah, me too.
And then I realized, why would I want that? Why do I want to convince people that my way is the only way? And
well, for me, it wasn't, and maybe for me, it would, like, I did a lot of arguing online about politics and things of sorts, and it was never about enforcing my viewpoint on other people, although it was about articulately, you know, arguing my viewpoint. But for me, it was about an evolution. It was about, here's what I think, tear my shit up. What do you got? Tear me up and make me fucking think about what I'm thinking. And what you see is a lot of people who don't like to be challenged on things is because they've never seriously thought about what they believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think too,
most people.
And this will tie back into being into the comic book community. I think it helps in a whole host of ways. First, you get exposed to things that you never knew about, which in having an opinion, not seeing certain sides, it kind of ties into that. It's a similar thing. Also, in dealing with, you have 500 subs, you have 1,000 subs, you're not existing in your own vacuum anymore. And you realize how to go about dealing with your own personal outreach. To looking at other people's sides, you know, and for me, I think I've grown a lot since coming into the community because I've always kept my circle close. So it's either people knowing how I act and what I think, and having new friends in the community who push upon me their viewpoints, you know, and I'm starting to learn what I think is not exactly what other people think. And how to realize that I'm not always right.
Yeah, you broke the echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
What I think is not what other people think, but I am always fucking right. Because I have to be right.
And you know what? And
I have to be right.
But also, you know, you can always be right for you.
Doesn't have to be right for me,
and
for sure.
We don't have to butt heads about it.
We don't. And that's it. Like, I was in a chat today and I was like, you know, I like this. And they're like, it's trash. I'm like, oh no, you disagree. You know, it's okay, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, my mom used to tell me when I was fighting with my brother, we were very little. Yeah, me too. That when you have a difference of opinion, if you start the the sentence with "for me this is like this," the "for me" is the key to not fighting, because for you it's like this, for me it's like that. There you go.
Yeah. I know I probably should start using that, because a common theme is that people often say to me, well, that's just your opinion. And I'm like, yeah, no
Yep.
shit, dude. Why are you telling? Yeah, no shit. What's your fucking point?
Yeah.
So maybe I should start saying that for me.
Yeah, it's like a child, because I was a child when my mom taught me that, and that goes to the point I was making before when you were talking about thinking critically or something like that, and that's not most people. I mean, most of us, in some or most aspects of life, we don't want to think through and deeply about, for example, in my case, politics, because I hate it. So I'm a political ignorant. You know, I rather have my things chewed by someone else. Like when my dad was alive, my dad was my political reference. Whatever he said, whatever he thought, he explained it to me. Okay, now I have your political point of view. It works for me.
What up, Legion?
But most people want their food to be chewed up for them. Most people choose to be zombies in some aspect of life because they don't want to think. Sometimes I don't want to think because life is hard enough. So
Now,
why make it more complicated? Why?
one of the biggest revelations of changing from a boy to a man is when I was a kid, you'd go to a job, you'd go to some place and somebody would be doing their job. And for me as a kid, it's like, that's the best person for the job. They know everything they need to know. They can, like, they're ready, you know? And as you get to be older, you realize that that's not necessarily true. They might be stone cold idiots. They may not be trained. They may be the worst person for this job. You know, you realize that not everybody is smart. You know, I didn't understand that as a kid.
Yeah, well, it's wise to understand that not everyone is smart, and those things are very different. Being smart is not being wise, and I like to think I'm a smart person because I'm an egomaniac, but I know I'm not wise enough, and I wish I was wiser, because being smart doesn't do me that much good. Because I still make the same mistakes I would make if I was a dum-dum. But if I was wise, I wouldn't make them.
I think it's the Gemini. I'm not a zodiac person, but I do identify with the Gemini twins. Like, I'm a Gemini, and I both think highly of myself. I think I'm really, really, really smart, but at the same time, I also think I'm a stone cold fucking idiot. Like, I simultaneously think both are true.
Yeah, because they are.
Yeah,
they really are.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a level of wisdom in knowing both of those simultaneously. The fact that you're aware of that, you know, shows you the level of intelligence. You know?
I call myself an idiot every fucking day. I promise I do.
Because at some point you are, because you cannot be
really
all-knowing. We are ignorant in so many aspects of life. The other day I almost had a crisis because of what happened on DJ's channel. And it was so positive, and I somehow managed to turn it into a negative experience because I felt, for I don't know which time in my life, imposter syndrome. That now I know it has a name. But,
Green Machine, we out here. Sorry.
Hello. So, and I thought about that, and I thought, okay, quit it. It's not about you. It's about cancer, and it's about a community. It's not about you. So cut it. And I brought myself to a stop because I was spiraling because of something stupid.
Yeah, but the fact too, you realize, don't bring up that Black Adam nonsense either.
That's for Beckerman. That's for you, Beckerman. I'm gonna DDP your ass.
That's from Dragon Ball.
It was from a lot of shit, apparently.
Yeah. You can say that's The Rock, Jay-Z, baby.
I agree
Thank
with
DJ.
DJ. Iggy, you're never an imposter, man. You're definitely one of the heavyweights in this community, and I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to know you.
I cannot think about myself like that, but the other day, certainly this community brought me up in a way I wasn't expecting, and it was a very.
What'd you say, Piebok?
It was a very humbling experience, and it was. What's the feeling when you move very fast in a very short time and you get vertigo? Yeah,
vertigo?
I got vertigo. It was humbling and it was vertigo inducing. Definitely.
That's how you know you're alive, baby.
I don't disagree. I try to be upfront and honest about everything.
But you cannot be. Not about everything, because you need to have things that are only for you.
Now, DJ, are you saying that because he lives in Texas, but he still says he's from New York? Is that why he's an imposter?
No, they never acknowledge that I'm from New York anymore. I've lost that right. But speaking of imposters, we're around that time, Halloween time, and I think maybe we should find out what TM is.
Oh,
asking.
yes.
So let's see what's up.
Hey everyone, TM from TM Nerdy here. You guys are watching Two Nerd Dads with Nick and Nacho. We're gonna hold you guys up for just 1 second because I got a question for all you fine folks out there in YouTube world. With Halloween just around the corner, that spooky time of the year, I want to know, what is your fondest memory of Halloween? Fill your holes with that nerd question. Back to you, Nick and Nacho, and Marcus.
This dude is a pro. He's such a pro.
DJ, that explains so much.
Yeah, but would I be here right now on the witness protection if I was in the witness protection program?
Hey, Sammy the Bull's on YouTube too.
No. Nobody says he was smart either. And I always picture the witness protection program as being like My Blue Heaven. If you ever seen that movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, Steve Martin, Rick Moranis. So whenever I picture the witness protection program, that's me.
Wouldn't the witness protection program be like living in an eternal Halloween? Because you're always acting like someone else.
Always, yeah. My name is Todd Beckerman, and I'm from bumfuck Missouri.
You're from Augusta, Georgia.
My name is Homer Thompson.
There you go.
Well,
so I mean, for Halloween, what do they do over there? Is it the same thing, Iggy?
We don't partake in All Hallows Eve. That's a Saxon costume. So we don't. Usually, when I was a kid, now it's more like globalized. So there's hints of Halloween in the air. Shout out to Augusta.
You can melt all this.
Hey, Brian.
What about you, Marcus? You get psyched up for Halloween?
No, not anymore. But now I have kids now, so I am dressing up as Rubble from Paw Patrol. So I will be looking like an idiot this Halloween.
Pictures, or it didn't happen?
It didn't happen, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the candy and stuff, I mean, we run into a teenager, you start doing the shaved cream and eggs thing. At least we did when we were younger. And for me, my all-time Halloween memory has to do with nothing really about costumes or anything like that, but it has to do with an egg. We were in someplace in Long Island. I think Brian Brian LCS will know. We were in Shirley, Long Island. And I remember throwing an egg at a moving car that hit right on top of the hood or the roof.
Yeah.
While it was moving at least 50 feet away without the egg breaking.
Wow.
So for me, that was one of the like these all time like nobody was around, nobody who I really knew.
Oh, you're always first when no one's on your side.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Whatever song you're quoting now.
Incubus.
I love me some Incubus.
Yep.
Whatever happened to them, man?
They're still
They're
around.
still, yeah,
That's
they're still
Panda's-
making music.
Really?
So-
I gotta check them out.
For me, Halloween, seeing it from outside, it's about
Candy.
or what I would, yeah, it's about candy, but what I would enjoy of the celebration of Halloween, if it happened here, is the scares, the fright, the because I like to be scared. I don't scare easy, and it's one of those feelings that when it happens, you cannot avoid it. You're fucking scared, and you feel your heart pumping blood to your system, and in that situation, it's put to the test either if you fight or you fly. And I remember once, speaking of scary stuff, when I was in the Boy Scouts, we basically created an urban legend about there was a place where we would go camping like all the time, and there was a part of in which we had built like an outpost with the, how do you call the thing built with like a tower, a watchtower.
Oh.
2 watchtowers with a bridge at the entrance of the place. We, as a community, as a scout group, we built it, and we built it. But then I came up with a legend of a dude that had died during the building process, and I created the legend with a couple of kids that were my friends, and we set out to scare the little ones, or everyone for that matter. So I bought a werewolf mask, and each time we went camping at night, I would wear that werewolf mask and I would go around scaring people. That was so good.
Furthering the proof that Iggy gets off on other people's pain, so he is not what he seems, everybody.
Oh, dude, I wish someone would have done that for me.
All right, so before we head out of here, I want to ask Marcus, what gets your recreational outrage up these days?
Oh man, nothing really. I mean, politics, but I don't want to talk politics really. My recreational outrage is really political focus. I'm really unhappy about a lot of things, and that's all. That's where it all started with me. Is just checking myself and saying, control what you can control and let the rest go.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, being in politics, has politics ever been in a place where you can be happy about it?
No,
honestly,
I don't think so.
For me, yes, in that, and this may not be true, but the big difference between now and 20 years ago is that 20 years ago there was a more firm, a tighter understanding of what the truth is, whereas now with recreational outrage farms working 24/7, we all have our own specific truths, and it's really hard to have a common conversation when you guys have completely opposite truths. There's no ground to meet on when you don't have the same facts, and that's the most depressing thing about politics to me, because I used to love arguing with people I disagreed with, because again, for me, it was about challenging what I believed. Like, I want you to challenge me and make sure that I'm right on what I believe, because there's going to be things that I can prove here and there. But now I can't do that with people because we're not reading the same book anymore. And that's really the most depressing, recreational outrage inducing thing for me, I'd say.
Yeah.
Even within the same groups, you don't have the same views, and it calls for a lot of...
It's not about the same views, though. It's about the same facts. Did this happen or did this happen? And all over the place, we know this happened, whereas they know that happened. And there's no...
Yeah, bro, but let's start with the simple fact that there are, and I hope none of you are, a flat earther. So if humanity at this point in evolution and doesn't get to agree on that, the shape of the earth, we're fucked, bro. We're fucked.
It's true. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith for us personally. Honestly, I don't.
I do, but I'm naive sometimes.
I want to be wrong, guys. Make me wrong. But I just think, I think recreational outrage is a culture now. It's a money-making industrial complex. And I do think it is churning the end of us, and if we don't figure this shit out real quick.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe not the end of us, but something really bad.
Yeah, maybe we need it. We need the crisis and the world coming down situation, the extinction level events of this paradigm of humanity to
Dave Chappelle
make it better.
Chappelle made that point once, and it's such a frightening point because my question is, I got 2 young kids. How fucking low do we got to go here? That shit's scary for me.
Well, bro, that's why I postponed having a kid until I was 41 years old, because that's one of my main fears, the world into which I'm bringing my son into. But I need to be also the one that brings a child and teach them, whoever your kid is, that things can be done differently, or at least that there's hope. That if you change your own small world, there's a hope for the rest of the world at large. Speaking of which, what brings you to recreational outrage, Nick, lately?
You know what? Not a lot, because I don't let a lot of outside influences in. So what I'm dealing with is just my own little bubble, and just here in my house is what I get mad at. And it's really not a lot.
Well, there's the most important things to get mad at are the things that happen in your own little bubble.
Yeah, I try to just focus on, like it's been said throughout the show, that what I can control. A lot of stuff,
is it stupid? Can you control it?
Yeah.
I can't. It's raining again. What am I going to do?
Yeah, jerk off outside.
This is
sorry. Did I say that?
Depends on how cool it is outside. But yeah, if it's school policy, can I change a stupid school policy?
No. Would it even matter?
No, and you know what? And I think too is like, I have to get to it.
Fuck you, teams.
That's what I get to at the gym. That's where I put in I call it my angry white boy music. It's not really white boy music, but I take it out physically, and it helps me out. It helps me out a great deal.
Well, we got to ask Ignacio before we go. Oh, go ahead, though.
Yeah. What causes your outrage, Mr. Ignacio?
Well, my outrage usually it's something not going the way I want it to go, but me not doing anything. Okay, I'm gonna say that this should be like this. For example, the most clear example I can give that changed recently is I wanted my wife I wanted us to take the decision as a family, as a couple, that the Astor needed to go to daycare. But in the end, the one that needed the kid to go to daycare was me, because my wife is already going to work and I'm the one staying at home with the kid, taking care of him. But I need him to go to daycare because I need to work somehow a little bit of normal hours. But I've been basically getting outraged for months because my wife couldn't take the same point of view that I took, because she would rather have the kid at home with me, because who's gonna take care of the kid better than me? But I needed help. But when I asked her, okay, can we take the kid to daycare? She would postpone it, kick it around. And then one day I realized, after talking with some friends and my mother and other parents, that, okay, I need the kid to go to daycare. And it's stupid that I keep getting angry at my wife because she doesn't choose the same thing I would choose. So I'm gonna take the decision. I'm gonna make the decision alone. which is the thing I didn't want to do. I'm gonna impose my point of view, and I'm gonna take the kid to daycare because this is what I need, and I'm gonna stop complaining about her and the fact that she thinks different than me. That was my outrage for, I think, 9 months.
Man, I think that, and this is a conversation that I had with my wife, is like, if you come into a situation and you're here on it, and I'm like right here on it, then I got to come up. That's just how it works, you know. If my wife is really worried and stressed about something that I'm not stressed about, I got to come up on it.
And I see CJ is, you know what? I have to disagree. There was a reel, and like I said, I've told these guys that I've been stuck in the Instagram reels like this whole week. But there was a picture of a wife, and you hear Sam Kinison in the background. He's like, "Oh, he's so nice." He's like, "Yeah, you know, you think if there was anything that made you happy or if turned you on, would you please let us know what the fuck it is?"
And sometimes you cannot force someone to make a decision they cannot make. Because my wife, I realized she couldn't make the decision. She wasn't emotionally prepared to be the one that took that decision. And I wasn't emotionally prepared either. But I was aware. And the awareness gave me the edge, the kick to, okay, I'm scared and I'm unwilling to make the decision, but I'm the only one that can make it. I cannot make her responsible of this not happening because I can make it happen and I'm not doing it. So I'm being an asshole. Stop being an asshole.
Yeah, I think there's a certain enlightenment as you get older. I don't know if you really attribute it to
God willing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. Experience.
Inshallah, as they say.
But as DJ pointed out, Teams is calling me, so I'm going to have to go.
Good times, fellas.
What do you got going on, Marcus?
Always.
I don't have anything going on. I've been off social media for the past couple of weeks, but I've released a couple of reels recently. I'm trying to get back into the reels thing, and my YouTube channel, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I want to do on it. But someday, when I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
well, and you're always welcome here.
Yes, I will.
I'm here every Thursday, definitely.
You will not be removed from the chat. I caught some grief for that, but yeah, check them out. I think while we're all trying to figure out, I think the important thing for us is that you're still here. I love having you around.
Yep.
You make me laugh. You brought me. I got into your game with the Marc Rebillet stuff, and
oh yeah, that was so long ago. Man. We had a good time. We had a good time at Kansas City playing at Comic-Con. That was so fun.
I cannot wait. Like I feel that I didn't get a chance to spend enough time with you there, and that's probably my fault.
Well, but, I could only do the one day, is why I was working that weekend, and my wife had shit to do. So yeah, but next time, next year, I'm dedicating my whole weekend to it. So definitely make it up here.
And there's no fault, Nicky boy. It's just what happens. We're responsible adults. We all have responsibilities. There's no shame in that. There's no fault in that.
Yeah, but you still could wish things happened a little different.
We made the most of the time we had, and we're gonna do it again, babe. I'm seriously. I think Beckerman mentioned getting a hotel up there, and I'm debating if I want to do all that. Just be up there all weekend, just abandon my family. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing going on. I know there's a swim meet for me this weekend. I don't know if there's going to be a community garage sale, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out the YouTube thing too. So we'll just keep pushing on. We'll keep having these discussions. And for me, this was one of my favorites.
I had a good time, fellas. Thanks for having me on, man. I love this show. I seriously love
Thanks for coming, man.
This show.
We do our best to bring you down.
Yeah, I don't. Is that really a stigma we want?
No. That's what people say.
I think for us, for Iggy and I think whatever happens on this show happens, and I think we're both happy with that, and that's what the goal is.
It works for me.
If we bring out some good stuff, we bring out some bad stuff. As long as we're bringing out stuff, we're happy.
Hey, shout out to the chat, man. Always
we have a great chat.
Always fantastic. We love you guys. I love watching, scrolling through the chat, see what goes on. You guys bring up some great comments.
And Joe says he doesn't like getting hit by a car, but I have my suspicions.
Yeah, I do too. But appreciate you guys. Love you all. If you want to come on the show, hit me and Iggy up. We're more than happy. But,
remember, if you're in the chat, you can be here too.
Yep. Bring up topics. If you don't want to be here and you want to hear us talk about something, let us know.
Comic Journey. Let them know. Let them know what you want to talk about, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Influencers, bring it on.
Yeah, try it out.
Try it out.
Here's the outro.
Chip is still here. Chip's still here.
Chip is always here.
Chip's all about the ad revenue these days.
Oh shit.
Later.
Fuck, you guys already saw it? Let me see it. Oh shit! Oh, y'all see that?
So Tyler, do you want to build a snowman to plow away all night? It doesn't have to be a snowman. It can be me.
I'll be clipping that too.